Thank you, and hello, ACB. I bring greetings from the entire International Relations Committee. We are delighted to introduce the winners of our first annual International Voices contest. We, the International Relations Committee, launched this contest this year, this initiative, because we know how valuable international attendees have found our convention. We have international attendees every year from several countries, and they tell us how they find the convention so useful and enjoyable for the information sharing, for receiving ideas on approaches to handle difficult advocacy situations, for the inspiration of hearing other success stories, and for the networking with others who are blind or low vision. And so we wanted more people to know about us and to know about the support that we provide at these conventions and to be able to take advantage of that. And also, we know that with international currency conversions, for some, the convention fees might be a challenge. And so we also wanted to provide, if needed, some assistance to those who might not otherwise be able to attend. So we asked entrants to submit audio recordings of up to 10 minutes in length, sharing their blindness experiences in their countries, their message to blind people in US, and why they wished to attend the convention. And as I mentioned, these recipients received complimentary registration to our convention. The first place winner also had the opportunity, as you will shortly hear, to address the general session. So I'm pleased now to introduce our three recipients for this, our first group. We have from Finland, Sirku Hainaluoto, who is a musician, a retired massage therapist. She's active in the blindness advocacy in her local community in Finland, and she's also active in ACB community. You may know her from several musically focused calls. And from UK, we also have Victoria or Tori Ziegler. She's a children's book author and the author of the Toby Tales series of children's books on adjusting to vision loss. And she's also active in the ACB community as both a facilitator and a host. So congratulations to both of them. And now I am pleased to introduce our first place winner, Pritam Sankavalli from India. Pritam works as a manager at a large Indian conglomerate, and he's been on quite a journey so far to get there. So Pritam, congratulations and a warm welcome.
Hey Maria, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here. And thank you so much to the International Relations Committee and to ACB again. I've been on quite a few ACB Zoom calls and I've found them incredibly helpful and incredibly fun.
I'm very happy to hear that. We're glad to have you here. So I mentioned there about your journey to successful employment. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Sure. So I have retinitis pigmentosa, and so I've been visually impaired pretty much my whole life. And I grew up in a small city in India called Visakhapatnam. And so we had very limited resources for visually impaired people growing up. So I ended up going to regular schools, and I did not really even learn Braille in the beginning. Most of my education was done either orally or through computers. So I was introduced to screen readers and computers around 5th grade. And as I grew up, I kind of took an interest in economics and later business. And after my college, undergraduate college, I was in a kind of job fair for a large American tech company. And while I was interviewing for them, I was told that they would not be able to have assistive software on their systems because it would be a security issue. And so they kind of said that it wouldn't really work out. And for me at that point of time, I was not very aware, and so The only thing that got into my head was that it's way easier for them to hire an able-bodied, a sighted candidate, and they wouldn't have to put too much effort into that. And so I was determined that I would excel and I would better myself. And so in India, for postgraduate education, if you want to get a management education, if you would like to get an MBA, there's an exam that you have to take, which is incredibly competitive. And so I kind of dedicated myself to preparing for that exam. About 190,000 people took the exam in my year, and there were about 4,000 seats in these premier Indian institutes of management. So I managed to get into one of the best MBA colleges in India. And later I was recruited by a company that really recognizes me for for the diversity that I bring in, and provides me a great platform to build my career on.
Well, that is wonderful. It's so great when you find those companies that get it, that get that you can be an asset and the diverse perspectives you can bring. And so, very good that you did find that. And so, with some of these struggles, as you indicated, that you went through, and this journey that you went on, that you've been on so far, what advice would you have for any young people, blind students, or those who've graduated and are now seeking employment?
So the first thing I'd like to say is we as visually impaired people should be incredibly persistent. I know the world is way more inclusive than it used to be, but even today there are many times that we be like, oh, I don't think I can take it anymore. I don't think I can fit into the workforce, things like that. But the thing is, we need to be persistent, and we need to make sure that we are out there advocating for ourselves, and not really not really denying employment opportunities just because we think we cannot perform there. So that's one thing we need to advocate for ourselves. Also, one thing I've noticed while I'm working here is that we need to let our work speak for itself. So many times there are things that my managers might think I might find difficult doing, and then I end up doing it in my own way and proving to them that I can perform. So letting your work speak for itself, at least for me, has been very powerful.
Wonderful. And I also think what struck me about as you were talking about your journey is that you turned an adverse experience into an opportunity for growth. And I think that is really important as well, to not let those setbacks stop you from achieving your goals. And so,
Right.
yeah. And so, I'd like to also ask you. So, what are your thoughts? You're as an international attendee. You say you've already attended some of the ACV events, and now you'll be attending the convention. So, what are your thoughts on how ACV? Yes, we have American in our name, and we're primarily focused on the American population, but we don't operate in a vacuum. And so, do you have any thoughts on how is ACB providing currently, or how can it better provide some of this information and collaborate as well with the international community?
Right. So for me, the US has been pretty pivotal to where I am now. So most of my orientation and mobility training took place in the US, and quite a bit of my family actually lives in the US. And that's how I was introduced to ACB, because during the pandemic, I spent quite a bit of time with my sister in Austin, Texas. And I was introduced to the ACB community Zoom calls, and I started attending the calls, and I made a couple of friends. And it was really great, the sense of community and all the diverse range of discussions that would happen. And there was a lot that I learned, and I wanted to bring it back to India and maybe start communities of that nature here as well. But in terms of what ACB can really do for the international population, I think the Zoom calls are a great start, because obviously you can access them from anywhere in the world. And in addition to that, I believe some couple of groups, maybe country-specific groups. I know it's American, but you could have an India call or a call for Europe, for the UK, probably in terms of their timings. And there is a large enough community that these calls could actually work out in India time, or in European time, things like that. Just make them a little more accessible, so that I don't have to stay up, and attend calls in the middle of the night. Yeah. Also, languages, probably maybe have a couple of ACB calls in different languages. I know most of us here in India speak English, but I'm sure there's a significant population that does not, and maybe get calls for them. Speakers of that language in the US, of course, could also join in, and something like that could be done. But yeah, all of this kind of hinges on the sense of community that the Zoom calls have provided for us.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I've definitely heard that from others regarding how difficult it is with time zones. And I think ACB is now starting some Spanish language content as well. So that comment about calls in other languages is definitely being heard. So thank you for that. Is there anything else that you'd wish to add that we haven't covered?
Maybe one final thing is, in terms of the support I received in the US, especially regarding accessible technology and orientation and mobility training. And I feel here in India, those are two areas that have incredible potential. And there's so much that can be done in terms of taking accessibility and O&M training to the masses. There is quite a bit that I'm doing myself, but obviously, if anyone's willing to collaborate, and we could take it to the next level, that would be incredible. So yeah, that's about it from me.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And if anyone is hearing about this and has ideas, you definitely reach out and connect. And I wish you continued good luck with all you're doing there for the blindness community in India. I'm sure something like a local Zoom community would be very welcome as well. And so thank you so much again, Pritam. Congratulations to you, and
Thank
congratulations.
you.
Yeah, and congratulations
Thank
again.
you for having me. And I
Thank
look forward to the networking opportunities.
Absolutely. Look forward to connecting with you more as well. And congratulations again to Sirku and Tori as well. So again, we on the International Relations Committee, we hope that you have enjoyed meeting our International Voices winner as much as we did. And we look forward to presenting another vibrant and diverse and talented group again next year. So thank you so much again, and enjoy the rest of convention.